I went to your Twitter profile and there was this question that says, what does it mean to be a patriot? So did you find the answer for that?
I guess it's an inside joke that I have. Every time I'm doing a film, I will put up what I think is the essence of that film as the Twitter bio. So I think with Major, that is what we're trying to answer. What does it mean to be a patriot?
To start with, what is your memory that you can recall of 2611?
They're both intertwined for me. My introduction to Major Sandeep and 2611. I grew up in San Francisco, and I remember we only had a couple of Indian channels at the time over there. And the afternoon of the 27th is when they put up a photograph of Major Sandeep. Like it being one incident like 9/11 that happened in 1 hour, this kept going and going and going. When his photograph came up, I was so shocked. And the reason being, he looked like all of my older cousins. He looked like how I would be in 12, 13 years. And I was very confused that somebody who looked so young, and they decided to sort of sacrifice their life. And it turned from that initial shock, into admiration for him. I'd save newspaper clippings. I would just keep saving stuff and printing it and saving it and saving it. I had a big folder full of just him. About 3 years ago, I realized that this is a hero I admire, and there's so much I know about him that the world doesn't know. The world only knows about how heroic he was and how he died in his final moments. 2611 was not the chapter that defined him. It was an important chapter, but he was a captain in 7 Bihar when he fought in Kargil. He served in Hyderabad. He went to the National Defense Academy. He was a training officer in the National Security Guard. So he had so many chapters, and I was so interested in how beautifully he lived his life.
When you started learning about his life, how similar is your personality to him?
This is, but as people we're not. I'm not half the man he is, I think. Aside from that, one thing I realized very late is that he's incredibly right-handed. The way he'd fire a gun, the way he'd load a SIG, and the way he'd sort of fire a Beretta. And he was very proficient at it, right? It's like trying to meet the black belt version of an army man. Here I am, a civilian who's completely left-handed. Yeah, the way he stood, the way his posture was, he stood in a triangle, his legs were always apart like this. Finding the right tone and tenor of his voice. All of these things were so important.
What kind of research that went into making this movie, writing, finding facts?
Well, I think when we were trying to find out about the person he is, most of the film is informed by my incredibly long interactions with uncle, auntie, and his cousin sister Sandhya. Then going to Yelahanka to their house where there is a small museum. I obviously met with his army superiors and his colleagues, 7 Bihar and NSG. We frequented his Frank Anthony Public School in Bangalore. Walking around the Taj to understand the geography of his final moments. It's incredible. It's an incredible story.
Did you make any significant change to your fitness regime too?
We had to. I lost about 10 kgs. I lost about 10 kgs too, because Major was very slim. I lost 10 kgs. And then because of the COVID thing, all the schedules went wonky. Suddenly I have to play grown Sandeep, suddenly I have to play young Sandeep. So suddenly I have to gain 5 kgs, suddenly I have to lose 4 kgs. It was very taxing for my body. But, I can't even begin to think that it's in any way comparable to what a real army man has to live on the border, for example. So I just did it with a smile and did my best.
I mean, you shot in most of the real locations for this film?
It was, we planned on doing so, but it's quite tough because so much of those real locations don't look like that today. Like trying to shoot in 1995 Yelahanka, Bangalore today's Yelahanka looks nothing like that. We found pictures and we've been trying to recreate that wherever we can.
So you got involved in the writing process?
It's my story and screenplay. It's my passion project, and I requested Shashi from his other commitments to stop those and
Okay.
dragged him into this film.
You also had tweeted saying that it is an attempt to find Major's soul within yourself, right?
I'll read you something from Major Sandeep's mom. She saw the video this morning and she said, "So sweet. My hugs to you. God bless you, Amma. Best wishes. We are meeting soon again." That is what she said. And she's saying this sitting there in the Taj right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the Taj at the memorial today.
Okay. What kind of pressure that comes with the anticipation of playing such a character, real life character?
It's incredible. I think you have sort of a threefold pressure. You've got the audience's expectation of watching a military film, a war hero. You've got his actual army colleagues who want everything to be accurate.
Mm.
And you've got his parents who know him at home and know all the soft things.
Also, when it comes to this military and army-based movies, we can find in the past movies that there's so many anomalies, wrong things, or the directors go wild with the imagination. I'm not saying that the procedure is no problem. The way they represent, the way they conduct their business is not maybe accurate. What kind of measures that you put in place to make sure that what you show in the film is accurate?
I think accuracy only takes you so far, because if you want to say 100% accurate, then it's a documentary, it's not a film. I think what we try to do is we're taking 31 years of a man's life, trying to find the truth of that in 2 hours. You're trying to find the essence of it. And one really interesting thing, and a lot of people aren't going to believe this, his life was so extraordinary, it feels very filmy. When you put such things in a film, our jaded audience tends to go, "Arey yaar, bahut zyada hi dikha rahe hain." So one big challenge that I didn't expect was to actually remove certain things, because the audience is simply not going to believe that really happened.
This is such an action movie. I mean, are we going to shoot the remaining? Is there a major action portion to be shot? Or are you going to plan it in the COVID times?
Fortunately, we're done with the action of the film. But it was quite a big risk, because you're on a set with 150 people and there's only 2 people without a mask. That's me and the co-star in the scene.
Okay.
Everyone else is masked up, gloved up with visors, and you're exposed. Fortunately, I've not gotten sick, and we've been a very responsible film unit.
So finally, when can we expect to see the film in theaters?
Well, we're looking to shoot until Jan-Feb, and after that we'll probably decide on the right release date.
Okay.
We have to be true to this film and just sort of do our best.